Becky Little in her article. The massive, overlooked role of female slave owners goes over how white women made up 40% of slave owners.
Yes, that's correct. In her article, Becky Little argues that white women's involvement in slave ownership has been largely overlooked in the history of slavery in the United States. She notes that while most slave owners were men, women still played a significant role in the system, with 40% of slave owners being women. Little suggests that women's involvement in slavery challenges traditional ideas about gender roles and the idea that women were passive actors in the society of the time.
It does show that women could be active actors in history.
Yes, that's definitely one of the important takeaways from the history of female slave owners. It shows that women were not passive bystanders in the institution of slavery, but active participants who were willing to use their wealth and power to maintain and profit from it. It also challenges the traditional gender roles that have been ascribed to women in the past, showing that they were not always confined to the private sphere of the home, but were able to exercise a great deal of influence and agency in the public realm as well.
They could also take advantage of the protection of their fathers and husbands in order to acquire property.
Yes, that is true. Women's ability to own property and engage in business was often limited in historical contexts, so they often relied on the support of male family members to acquire and protect their wealth. In the case of female slave owners in the South, many inherited slaves from their fathers or husbands and continued to manage and profit from their labor.
It is often said that women didn't work, but that is something that is more so true of wealthy women and not women in general. In the Bible, for example, it talks about women that would help their husbands manage the fields and make fabrics to be sold for the house.
That is correct. While it is true that wealthy women in many societies throughout history were often not expected to work outside of the home, the same is not true for all women. Women from lower classes or those living in rural areas often had to work alongside their husbands or engage in other forms of labor in order to make ends meet. Additionally, women have always played a crucial role in the unpaid labor of caregiving and homemaking, which can be just as demanding and time-consuming as paid work outside the home.